to Hipparchus, who around 190 BC used the catalog of his predecessors Timocharis and Aristus to discover Earth's precession. In doing so, he also developed the brightness scale still in use today. Hipparchus compiled a catalog with at least 850 stars and their positions. Hipparchus's successor, Ptolemy, included a catalog of 1,022 stars in his work The Almagest, giving their location, coordinates, and brightness. In the 10th century, Al-Ramal carried out observations on the stars and described their position. 7,435 Schmidt camera plates were used to complete several sky surveys that make the data in Auto B1.0 accurate to within zero point 0.2 arcs.